Your Christmas will never be the same.
Twerk the Santa, twerk the Santa, twerk the Santa, and his little elf crew. Twerk the Santa, twerk the Santa, twerk the Santa, and his reindeer too. Twerk the Santa, twerk the Santa, twerk the Santa. You know what to do. Twerk the Santa, twerk the Santa, twerk the Santa. Just twerk it the Santa.
Twerking is the Santa, gotta twerk it like this.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Vlogmas. These are my plants. I've been buying plants for so long, it's actually kind of crazy. I didn't expect to have all these children up in my house. They don't pay rent. I make the money, I spend the money, but they live for free. So I thought to myself, how can I get these plants to pay me rent? The answer was pretty easy. Put them in a video, collect the AdSense. Let's go. Okay, all right, so hello everybody. The dang on sun done set on me. I don't got no light. I'm just lit by this one little candle right here. But I did want to finally just go through my plants because the girls have been asking. Usually it's like, girl, ain't nobody ask you about your skincare routine, Stacy. But this time around, three people asked me to give them a plant tour, so I'm gonna give y'all a plant tour. And I feel like setting up a whole bunch of lights to try to film this situation, so I just filmed some B-roll as the sun was setting, and I'm just gonna walk through the plants that I have. I have so many. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 17. I lost count. I started off with one plant back in 2019 or 2019. I got it from Safeway. It's this little aloe vera. Some of y'all might recognize her from the OG days. This is Miss Keisha. Yeah. Despite the rumors, sis, Miss Keisha is not dead. She is very much alive and well. She has gone through so many changes. She's gotten bigger randomly. And I'm very shook. I can't believe that she's still alive. I've had her for 3 years now and she's never looked better. She doesn't require much water. Like, she can go like 2 weeks without water, 3 weeks without water. It's a little scary when you buy a plant and like one of the leaves die. You're like, oh my God, something's wrong with it. It's dying. But no, they just regenerate.
I'm a bad. You can't kill me.
Next up is this big mama behind me. This is actually I wrote all the names down because I don't even know. I think this is a philodendron. I started naming them like Miss Keisha, Brenda, Tina, Crystal. Oh, fun fact, I had friends when I was younger named Tina and Crystal. They were twins. They are twins. Shout out to them. At some point, I just stopped naming them and I just called them by whatever they were. So this one is just philodendron. Let me get the paper. Hold on. I have to write all the names down and the last date that I watered them because I have over like 15 plants and they all are kind of like on staggered watering schedules, which I actually just fixed that yesterday. I watered them all at the same time, but I shorthand the name. So this one is just Philos. I'll put the real name of them below, but this one is so big and voluptuous and beautiful. I didn't like it at first. I actually saw this in Home Depot quite a few times. The leafiness at the beginning was kind of bothering me. I was like, ew, I don't like that. Ew. It read almost as fake. But after a few times of going to Home Depot, because they will get you, girl. As soon as I get in there and I start looking at the plants, I'm going to take something home. I'm leaving here with something. It was just on sale one day. I bought it. It is so well developed on all sides. 360. It's just a really beautiful plant. But that also makes it difficult to figure out where to put it. So it's in this corner. I don't know if I'll put it anywhere else. It's just huge and it doesn't really fit nicely anywhere else but this corner. Next up, I have this big ficus Audrey that I got from this cute little plant shop down the street. I'll see a plant in the back of somebody's video and I'll be like, oh my God, obsessed with it. I want that. I'll do my research. And there's this app actually that's on my phone that you can take a picture of a plant and it'll just tell you exactly what it is. It's called Picture This. And there are plenty of apps like this. This one is $30 a year. I don't know if it's all that worth it. But once I found out the name of this plant, I went on a hunt for it. And one thing I was feeling really sad down in the dumps and I was like, let's just go look at plants. And as soon as I went into this plant store, this Ficus Audrey tree was there. And it's the exact tree that I had dreamt up in my brain. It didn't even have a tag on it. So I went up to the girl and I was like, hey, do you know what kind of plant this is? Because I wasn't sure. She's like, I don't know. I was like, because I'm looking for Ficus Audrey. And she was like, well, I don't know if this one is a Ficus Audrey because like the leaves, turns out it's a full-on Ficus Audrey and that girl just didn't know what she was talking about. I actually have another Ficus Audrey. It's like a little tiny plant and I'm hoping that gets a little bit bigger. I love these beautiful round, very stately leaves that they have. Next up is the Silver Bay, the Aglaonema.
Your wife can't read.
Get somebody else to do it. I didn't like this one as well. I got this one the same time as I got this big one behind me. They just look fake to me, or like something that you would see in like a dentist office. When I was renovating my bedroom, I knew I wanted plants up there, so I went to Home Depot intentionally kind of looking for plants, and that one just spoke to me. So, okay, my all-time favorite plant is this alocasia. I can't remember exactly what kind of alocasia this is. I have to lift it up out of the pot to see because the label is on there, but alocasias are my favorite plant. They are so cool. I got this one also at a cute plant nursery, and I remember checking out, and the guy at the thing was so cute, and then I saw them on like an app like 2 weeks later, and I reached out to them and they ignored me. So there's that. Next up is this monstera. Everybody knows what a monstera is. This one has like the fenestrations on it. It's really cool. It's really cute. I got this back at my old apartment and I transferred it here, and I was so afraid that it wasn't going to like acclimate to this new apartment, but it's doing pretty well. Actually, I'm overwatering it a little too much. A lot of my plants I've actually overwatered because when it gets cold here in the desert, it really gets cold and you don't need to water as often. In the summer, the water is like evaporating out of the soil so fast that you have to water it like every week. But this one is pretty simple. Like I can go like 3 weeks without watering most of these plants. I can't remember what these things are called, but they look like roots. Oh no, they're called aerial roots. Aerial roots help these plants figure out where to spread to. Like they help the plant climb if there's like a tree nearby. They started growing out of my monstera like maybe 4 months ago. I thought something was wrong with my plant, so I looked it up, and people were like, oh, it's pretty normal, and you can absolutely cut them off. It doesn't necessarily hurt the plant, but also people recommend you should probably just keep them. So I don't really care anymore. Like they just start growing all out. Right next to that, I have my elephant ears. I think that's what it's called, elephant ear. I think it's called an elephant ear plant. I'm obsessed with this. I had one before, way back when I got Miss Keisha. She had a friend named Miss Brenda who was an elephant ear, but she passed away. Yeah, don't tell Miss Keisha. Miss Brenda is in the trash, girl, because she died as soon as I got her. I got her also from Safeway. This one I got from Home Depot. I get most of my plants from Home Depot or like plant nurseries. I like Home Depot because if your plant dies within the first 90 days, you can literally take the dead plant back and they'll just give you your money back, which is so nice because plants are expensive. Next, I have my Rubus elastica. It's also, I think, a ficus as well. It's a rubber tree plant. I had this one for a long time too, back when I was in my first relationship, girl. A lot of these plants have been with me through big life moments, and I think that's why I keep getting plants, because they remind me of very specific eras in my own life, and it's like beautiful to like look around and be like, we made it, sis. We made it. We did it. Like we survived those like really tough moments. And this is one of those plants that when I am sad or when I'm not doing well, it's not doing well. And so I thought she was going to be dead. Like I had her in my U-Haul truck when I moved to Phoenix. Girl, she's been with me through it all. And she's just been thriving. She's bigger than she's ever been. I had to repot her recently. I just love rubber tree plants. They are so sophisticated. They're so like, if they were like a human being, they would definitely like wear a suit and they would smell good. I also have this bunny ears cactus, which is the devil. It's the devil, and I can't get rid of her because I love her so much, but she will slice and dice your hands up if you as so much as breathe in her direction. Tiny, tiny, tiny little spines that get everywhere, and they stick on you, and it hurts, and you have to use tweezers to get all of it out, and it's happened to me like 5-6 times. Right next to that, I have my Pylia. I don't know what kind of Pylia this is, but I think she's gonna die soon. Yeah. But that's been the case with most of my plants. I'm like, I think they're gonna die soon. Then they always survive. But this one, I recently went to go pick off one of the leaves that had died, and the whole thing came up, and it was just one little tiny root. I tried to repot her, and she's been doing well for maybe like a week, but I think most of the leaves are gonna like die. Oh wait, what's this one? The next one is a baby rubber. That's what it's called. It's called a baby rubber. That's what it's called. Peperomia. I got this plant when it was super tiny at my old apartment, and it like this year it just had some kind of growth spurt where it just grew and grew and grew. It was like during growing season. I'm always confused with the color of these leaves because a lot of them turned yellow, and that to me is like a quick sign of overwatering. Read some like reviews of this plant and people were like, oh, it just usually does that. Like sometimes it does that, but I don't know. I think I'm overwatering my plants. I don't know. I guess that's also a fun thing about plants is that they are alive and they respond to you and you are interacting with them.
Hello.
And you are speaking kind of a language that doesn't require words or anything. You have to like really pay attention to them and like get the vibes and then treat them accordingly. Next is my ZZ plant, which, oh my God, I'm looking at it right now and I'm like,
Beautiful.
she is a beaut. She is so beautiful. I'm a little scared because it does grow pretty big. Like the leaves are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I got this when it was super tiny. And I had to repot her already once, and I think that's what made it start to grow bigger because it just had more space. It was so hard to repot it the first time because the roots like to be root bound, which means that they just like to be all tangled together. But also the roots like exert a lot of pressure on the walls of the vase. And so I think if I'm ever gonna repot this one, I'm gonna have to crack the vase open because you can't get it out of the thing. You can't just pull it out of the vase. But I love that one. It's super shiny, super robust, doesn't need a lot of water. Next is this Areca palm. I call it just like my grass. Kind of looks like blades of grass. Yeah, she done died and came back like 17 times.
What?
This is one that requires a lot of water. Like she just drinks water, needs it again, drinks water. I'm like, girl, one time I left my apartment for a trip and I came back and she was like dead and gone. But I kind of revived her a little bit. Next is my Anthurium. I actually didn't like this plant at first as well. I was like, this is ugly. I don't want this. And then one day I just walked by and I was like, this is the most beautiful plant I've ever seen in my entire life and I want 12 of them. She had a hard time acclimating to my apartment, but now she's living it up like it's golden. She got a nice little spot by the window. Her flowers are so red and vibrant, and I just love the color that they add because I usually just like green. Like I like the green. I also have this red Valentine, which I got at the same time that I got that Anthurium because I just wanted to add color in the leaves of my plants. She also died down to about one leaf and then started to come back and rebound. So trust, girl, if you're getting a plant and you bring her into your apartment and she don't like it, like she most likely will get with the program. Next is this plant called Mother-in-Law. See, I don't know if these are right or not because I used that app to figure out what they were because I threw away the little cartons that they come in. It's a Dieffenbachia. I'm saying these names incorrectly. She's also standing on one leg. I'm just letting her do her thing, letting her figure it out because I'm done. I'm through with her. Girl, I'm through with her. Every time I water her, she act like I never gave her water in her life. Okay, now onto my hanging plants. Any hanging plant that I have, I want them to be like super cool, super interesting because they're like little plant chandeliers. So first is this string of bananas. This girl will not stop growing and she's growing so fast. I feel like I need help with this one. She started off so short and in a matter of a month, she's like all the way down to the ground and I do not be watering her that often, but I do like the look of this. It makes kind of my house feel like a little bit of a jungle. I want a few more of these. I would love to have a few of these like hanging around my place. Kind of reminds me of moss. Like when I was in South Carolina going to high school, there was this stuff called Spanish moss and it would hang from the trees and it was this beautiful gray moss that kind of lived on the trees and this reminds me of it, but it's just green. Next I have I think it's called Staghorn. I'm gonna say right now that it's a Staghorn, but I could be botching that name. This one also I got from a plant nursery. It was so expensive. I remember that day I spent like $250 on plants, on like 3 plants. But come on, how could you not buy this plant? This one is so sick. These actually grow on the sides of trees in the wild. People are actually encouraged to mount them on the wall, kind of like hanging flat against the wall. But I still have mine hanging in this box because I'm scared to like mount it. I'm scared and I wish I had somebody who can just like do it for me. She's not complaining. Like she's doing pretty well. I mean, I've had her for months now. The leaves are so cool. They're like reaching out. They look like they have fingers of their own. They actually call these leaves fronds instead of leaves. So they're fronds. Next up is my Hoya. Oh my God. This is such a juicy, thick plant. Like the leaves are so good. They hold a lot of water in their plant. You can tell very quickly when like there's no water or it needs water because those leaves go flat and they wrinkle when you like press them. The circularness of it just makes me appreciate all the kind of diversity that is within plants. So sick to me. The way that all these plants just like have grown and evolved to be looking the way that they looking. It's so crazy that this looks like this and like all these plants just have so much character, you know? But this one is really fun. It actually likes to be on a moss pole because it likes to vine like straight down to the ground and I should let it vine. Like I should figure that out, but I'm not that skilled in the art of having plants. So, okay, we're gonna speed round it through these last few plants because my camera has 2 minutes of footage left. The next one is this, what is this called again? This one is like a zigzag plant. Hold on, let me figure out what this one is. Okay, it's called a Rickrack. Who? Yeah, it's called a Rickrack. I got this one from Home Depot. This, I think, was an absolute steal. I saw a very similar one at a plant nursery that was like $80. This one was 20 bucks, and it's grown. It's grown since I got her. Next is a plant that I always mistakenly call a money plant, but it's definitely not that. It's called something else, and I will put that on the screen. Super beautiful as well. This is also one that I feel like would exist in like a lawyer's office or something like that. And so I thought it was fake, and I didn't buy it at first. And then I just have these two little baby alocasias that are like right next to my window. They have different names. These are like right by my bedside, and they're beautiful as well. And so yeah, that's all my plants. Oh my God, I'm on 0 minutes, girl. I gotta go. I'ma see y'all later, and happy Vlogmas, and bye.